Hello, 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 good to see you again. I hope you're doing extremely well. Welcome back to this new video of the now world famous series How About Living In, which brings us today west of Nice, actually west of Cannes, into the Var state. It's the 83rd state of France, or département. States is for département in France. So welcome to this new video. I am Fabricio Carminati, and me and my team are your personal property hunters in the French Riviera. This part of the video may move a little bit because I'm actually staying on a pontoon, so in the middle of the lake. As usual, the latest news about FRH, French Riviera house hunting, will soon be blowing out 3 candles. 3 years of emotion, 3 years of happy clients to whom we found their dream house in the French Riviera, but also 3 very instructive years which we learned to be better understand the needs of our clients and fine-tune our services. So, a big thank you for this fantastic journey. Now, let me tell you a funny story. Last week, Uriel, a super buyer's agent from my dream team, was talking to a local agent for an apartment search we're currently doing in Grasse. And this very nice agent tells Uriel that she recently had a Swedish lady that came to the agency, said she was looking for an apartment in Grasse, and then showed her one of our videos and told her she was looking for the same service that the guys in the video was offering. So, just a quick reminder, in all the cities and all areas we do videos about, we also do property hunting for you. A video about Grasse, we do Grasse. A video about Montauroux, we do Montauroux. We can help you find your dream house from Menton, this side, where probably, yeah, Menton to Hyères on the coastline, and also in the backcountry, everywhere, the whole French Riviera, and even beyond, depending on the budget. Voila! If you want to book a consultancy, where we will talk about your project and tell you everything about the services, use the link in the description below the video, here, down there. Today we're going to explore a magnificent area, a haven of peace just a few miles from Cannes, Mandelieu-la-Napoule and Fréjus. A wonderful jewel nested between the Mediterranean and the Prealps, with a rich historical and natural heritage, a land nested among the background of forests, lakes and rivers, and home to the numerous species of flora and fauna. Ladies and gentlemen, le Pays de Fayence! Le Pays de Fayence is a natural region located on the eastern edge of le département du Var, the Var state, and the north of the Massif de l'Estérel. It's surrounded to the east by the Préalpes d'Azur Regional Park and to the west by the Verdon Regional Park. This valley has a rich and varied vegetation with exceptional biodiversity and a combination of wilderness and countryside where olive trees and wine grows. Great wine tasting tours await you here in the region vineyards. But remember, as we say in French, boire ou conduire, il faut choisir, meaning drink or drive, make a choice. Well, I did. I only drink before driving. Here you can enjoy breathtaking scenery and fantastic hiking trails. There's something for everyone and every level of difficulty. And for experienced cyclists, the Pays de Fayence is crisscrossed by the Eurovélo 8 circuit, also known as the Véloroute de la Méditerranée. This is a cycle route that is still being developed and will eventually link Cadiz in Spain to Athens in Greece, which means that if you live here, you'll soon be able to go on holiday to Greece or Spain by bike. This blessed land is home to les gorges de Siagne, or the Saint Cassien, a site included in the Natura 2000 network, which aims at striking a balance between natural heritage and human activities, taking into account economic and social issues. In fact, the Siagne and the other rivers that flows all around the Pays de Fayence, as well as shaping this hilly region, have supported human life since prehistoric times. Since FRH Flintstones didn't already exist and I couldn't look for the dream house, the first Fred and Wilmas on the region occupied the many caves in this area and left various dolmens. Hey guys, so we're just going down a little bit to the lake, to another part of the lake. We were just by the tourism office, whereas you have also the nautic bays with all the pedalos, canoe, etc. And I wanted to take you to a more, let's say, natural part of the lake. So we're going down here, and we should be there in a second. We're on the other side of the lake basically, and we're going down now to the lake. And there we go. Let's see what do we have here. Going down to the lake. Let's try not to fall. Et voila. Oops, what did I tell you? Here it is. Beautiful. Welcome to our Nature and Fauna late evening show. We are actually sitting here waiting for the Birdus not very good flayus to appear, a very rare specimen of bird that doesn't know how to fly. Shh, let's wait for it, guys. The Siagne continues to offer its resources to local residents, as one of its canals feeds the Lac de Saint Cassien, just where we are, just behind me, that beautiful lake here, which is a reservoir that supplies water to Cannes and Saint-Raphael, among other towns. This 3.7 kilometer long lake is also a paradise for water lovers. All kinds of activities can be enjoyed on the lake: rowing, paddlers, canoes and paddle boats, or simply sunbathing on one of the main beaches. The lake will also be home to the Paris 2024 Olympic champions, as the Saint Cassien Rowing Center has been set up to accommodate teams from all over the world who will come here to train and benefit from modern sports facilities. You can also ride your bike here along the numerous tracks running around the lake, preferably ride a gravel bike or a mountain bike, just like I did. If you're a keen ornithologist, you're in for a stay here, as Lac Saint Cassien is home to a plethora of sedentary and migratory birds. Le Pays de Fayence is a territory including 9 villages: Fayence, Bagnols-en-Forêt, Callian, Mons, Montauroux, Saint-Paul-en-Forêt, Saint Tanneron and Tourrettes, 9 hilltop villages and as many jewels to enjoy. Follow me as we take a tour of the 9 hilltop villages. Ready to go? Okay, we're off! A charming village with just 1,600 inhabitants, Tanneron lies on the Route du Mimosa, which stretches from Bormes-les-Mimosas, west of the famous Saint-Tropez, to Grasse. The Tanneron Massif is home to 200 hectares of mimosa, which has acclimatized wonderfully in the mild local climate. Official documents first mention Castrum Tanneroni in the 13th century, well, maybe not so Italian, Tanneroni in French. In these documents, Tanneron appears as an annex of Callian in the same way as Montauroux. The 12th century square tower was once, here just behind me, was once a fortified castle that served as a hospice and stopover for pilgrims on the way to Santiago de Compostela. The long inactive mill was used as a sawmill at the time when logs still floated down the Siagne to be transported. The Siagne is the little noise you hear just down there, that's the river. It is currently being restored as part of an initiative to preserve its historical heritage, but also to raise awareness of Pays de Fayence's history, as the work is being carried out by the Chantier de Jeunes Provence-Côte d'Azur Association. The aim of this project is to enable young people to discover a natural and historical environment and to take part in a great collective project. Alright guys, there was a sign just going to the river saying that be careful, dangerous, do not walk in the river because sometimes flows of water can come suddenly and you just be taken by the river. But you know, I like to show you nice things, so we're going to walk a little bit in the river to show the nice, not a waterfall, but that water flowing gently in the river. Let's go. Okay. Don't tell my mother that I'm doing this. Well, she's not here to see it anymore, but don't have her anyway. So, there we go. Isn't this absolutely charming? What do you think? Isn't that completely charming? Voilà, la nature, la France, mesdames et messieurs. Voilà. Here we are at the second stop of our tour, Montauroux, a typically Provençal village dating back to the 11th century. Its position overlooking the valley has earned it the nickname Balcony of the Esterel, les Balcons de l'Esterel. The atmosphere here is one of peace and tranquility, even though the population has grown exponentially since the 2000s and continues to do so. And I just noticed that I'm saying that, and I'm sitting just by the cemetery. So yes, it's very peaceful, and there's a lot of tranquility, definitely. No, really, Montauroux, it's a super nice village. And the good thing about Montauroux is that you have everything around. You have grocery stores, you have also, if you're looking for trees for your garden or whatever, and you also have schools for your kids. I just saw the kids going to school this morning, taking the bus school. There is several schools, l'École du Lac near Montauroux. There's one also very in the village, basically. So yeah, very nice area and with all comfort. Its narrow streets and squares are dotted with fountains, wash houses and engraved lintels, most of which were built from 1867 onwards, the year that drinking water arrived in Montauroux. In terms of services, if you have young children, you'll be delighted to know that Montauroux has a nursery school, 2 primary schools and a secondary school for pupils from Montauroux, Callian, Tanneron and Les Adrets de l'Esterel. This is the Château de la Colle Noire, or the Black Glue Castle? Glue? Really? No, not here. La Colle is glue in French, but here La Colle comes from La Colline, so it's rather the Black Hill Castle. This castle is a 19th century complex situated on a promontory overlooking Montauroux Plain, renovated by Christan Dior and owned by Parfum Dior since 2013. In fact, it was in Callian, the next stop on our tour, that the Dior family settled after Dior Senior's company went bankrupt. Christian Dior retained a special affection for the area, so much that his last wish was to be buried in Callian. When Christian Dior bought the sumptuous residence of le Château de la Colle Noire and the surrounding land, he also acquired the chapel of Saint-Barthélemy. In 1953, the famous couturier bequeathed it to the town, which uses it both for worship and for regular cultural events. The chapel overlooks the village and was built on the site of a fortress destroyed by the Duc d'Épernon in the 16th century. By the way, the people of Montauroux are still mad at the Duc burning his effigy in the village square every year on Saint Bartholomew's Day, and with good reason. After a fairly calm 15th century, Montauroux experienced some dark times with the wars of religion. With Savoy troop approaching, King Henry IV sent the Duke of Épernon, Jean de Nogaret de la Valette, to ensure the protection of Provence. But ambition and power were stronger than the supreme interest for the country. That reminds me something happening in France right now. And Épernon, betraying the king, laid siege to Montauroux, hanged almost all the village's defenders and demolished the fortress that the local inhabitants had built in 1365. A bit irritating indeed, très énervant. After these terrible times, the 17th century was a period of prosperity, and it was then that the locals built the Saint Barthélemy Chapel on the very site of the fortress, and Montauroux became a marquisate. And I am not the Marquis of Montauroux. No, not yet. Montauroux was also served by train. The Grasse-Montauroux line was inaugurated in 1890 and closed in the 50s. We still have the old station though, which is now the reception area for a campsite. Last but not least, Montauroux is one of the spots included in the natural site of the Haute Siagne gorge, protected by the Natura 2000 network. Take a look at this green setting. Starting from Montauroux, you can enjoy some magnificent walks, such as the Pont des Tuves Bridge linking Saint-Césaire, which was built in 1802 and restored in 1978. But Christian Dior isn't the only one to have found his dream home in Montauroux. We are proud to have helped Tracy and Mark Robinson find their magnificent home here in Montauroux.